ओके स्टूडेंट, अभी हम SST क्लास 6 चैप्टर 8 यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी और मैनी इन द वन, इस क्वेश्चन के आंसर का रीडिंग करेंगे और इसको आप होमवर्क के रूप में भी कर सकते हैं। और जो क्वेश्चंस थे उनको सिस्टमेटिकली ढंग से भी बनाया गया है एडिट करके, ताकि आपको अच्छे से समझ आ सके और आप इनको याद भी अच्छे से कर सके। तो क्वेश्चन की रीडिंग करते हैं। द बिग क्वेश्चंस, व्हाट इज meant by unity in diversity in the Indian scenario? Unity in diversity का मतलब क्या है भारतीय संदर्भ में? Unity in diversity in the Indian scenario refers to the idea that despite the country's vast differences in languages, culture, religions, and traditions, and there is a strong sense of unity among its people. Indian from various backgrounds live together harmoniously and respect and embracing their differences while sharing common values like respect, tolerance, एंड को एग्जिस्टेंस। यानी यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी का भारतीय संदर्भ में क्या मतलब है और इसको हम किस प्रकार से, क्योंकि भारतीय विशाल क्षेत्र में भाषाएं अलग अलग बोली जाती हैं, यहाँ की संस्कृति अलग है, धर्म परंपराएं सब कुछ अलग होते हुए भी इनमें एक प्रकार से हार्मनी है, रेस्पेक्ट है एक दूसरे का, और इन भावनाओं की भी एक दूसरे की कदर करते हैं, टॉलरेंस है और कोएग्जिस्टेंस है, सहअस्तित्व की भावना है सभी व्यक्तियों में। यह है यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी। क्वेश्चन 2 भी क्वेश्चन में है, व्हाट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ India's diversity are the most striking? Indian diversity is most striking in its languages, religions, festivals, and cultural practices. And there are hundreds of spoken languages, multiple religions, including Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, traditional customs, food, and clothing style, all coexistence in different part of the country. ये सब विविधताएं भारत में पाई जाती है। Question 3, how do we make out the unity underlying the diversity? The unity underlying diversity is evident in the shared national identity, the respect for democratic values, and common traditions like celebrating national festivals, following similar laws, and living peacefully with people from different backgrounds. Despite regional differences, people in India are united by a shared sense of pride in their country's history, values, and belief in harmony and coexistence. Okay, let's explore. इसमें क्वेश्चन अलग प्रकार के हैं, उनको देखते हैं। तो एक्सप्लेन हाउ द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ द साड़ी रिफ्लेक्ट्स बोथ यूनिटी एंड डाइवर्सिटी। ये क्वेश्चन है जो चैप्टर के अंदर से ही है कि भारतीय संदर्भ में जो साड़ी है उसका उदाहरण दिया गया है। यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी के संदर्भ में इसको किस प्रकार से देखा जा सकता है? 100 से लेके 150 वर्ड्स में इनका आंसर होना चाहिए। द साड़ी इज परफेक्ट एग्जाम्पल ऑफ बोथ यूनिटी एंड डाइवर्सिटी इन इंडिया. While the sari is traditional garment worn by women across the country, but it is styled and wrapped differently in various religions, reflecting the diversity of Indian culture. For instance, उदाहरण के लिए women in Maharashtra wear the sari in distinct Nowari style, while in West Bengal it is wrapped in the at-power style. Similarly, the material and the pattern of sari vary का मतलब होता है different. From the silk sari of Kachipuram to the cotton weavers of Assam, despite these differences in the style, materials, and religious preferences, the sari remains a symbol of cultural unity, worn and celebrated by women throughout India. This highlights how a single piece of clothing can reflect both the country's diversity and its underlying unity. Next question, let's explore. In the above picture, you can recognize what a sari has been used for. यानी एक जो फोटो दी हुई है उसमें बताया गया है कि साड़ी को किस प्रकार से अलग अलग प्रकार से इसको यूज लिया गया है। तो इन वो पिक्चर्स चैप्टर में हम देख सकते हैं। द साड़ी इज यूज फॉर मल्टीपल पर्पस बियॉन्ड इट्स ट्रेडिशनल रोल एज ए गारमेंट्स। एक झूले के तौर पे बच्चे को झुलाया जा रहा है, तो एज ए स्विंग और ए क्रेडल। द साड़ी इज टाइड बिटवीन द टू टीज क्रिएटिंग ए हमॉक और क्रेडल पॉसिबली फॉर चिल्ड्रन, कि उसको झूले की तरह काम में लिया गया। दूसरा, एज ए फिशिंग टूल, A person is using a sari to catch fish or other remains from the water. पानी से निकालने के लिए कुछ सामान उसको साड़ी के रूप में काम में लिया जा रहा है। As a basket और carrier, the sari used to hold and carry items such as grains or other produce. जैसे भी हम अपने प्रोडक्ट है वो कोई कपड़े वगैरह में बांधते हैं, तो इसी प्रकार से साड़ी के कपड़े को भी इसमें काम में लिया गया है, as a basket. Are you aware of or can you imagine more uses for the sari? More uses for a sari could include कि साड़ी को और क्या क्या काम में लिया जा सकता है। तो पहला है ए मेक्स इट रोप, एक रोप की तरह, रस्सी की तरह। इट कैन बी ट्विस्टेड एंड यूज एज ए स्ट्रॉन्ग रोप, एक मतलब रस्सी के रूप में। ब्लैंकेट और सोल, इट कैन बी ड्रेप्ड फॉर वार्मथ ओढ़ने के लिए भी काम में लिया जा सकता है साड़ी को। ए कर्टेन और पार्सन, द साड़ी कैन बी यूज फॉर क्रिएटेड प्राइवेसी और शील्ड फॉर द सन, धूप से बचने के लिए। द बैंडेज और स्लीव, इट कैन बी यूज इन इमरजेंसीज फॉर फर्स्ट एड पर्पज, कपड़ा बांधने के लिए एज ए फर्स्ट एड, पट्टी वगैरह करने के लिए। फॉलोइंग द एग्जांपल ऑफ द साड़ी मेक ए लिस्ट ऑफ डिफरेंट स्टाइल यू हैव सीन फॉर धोती। Both the regards the fabric and the usage the धोती can be put to. What conclusion can you draw? और धोती को किस प्रकार से काम में लिया जाता है? तो स्टाइल्स ऑफ वेयरिंग द धोती, नॉर्थ इंडिया स्टाइल, उत्तर प्रदेश बिहार इनमें है। तो धोती इज टाइड अराउंड द वेस्ट एंड गोज बिटवीन द लेग्स विद द लूज एंड इन फ्रंट और बैक, बंगाली स्टाइल। द धोती इज wrapped with plaits at the front and doesn't go between the legs, giving it loose and flowy look. Maharashtrian style, here the dhoti is worn like trousers, which one end tucked between the legs for easy movement. नीचे से खुली रखी जाती है, साड़ी कपड़े की तरह से wrapped किया जाता है। साउथ इंडियन स्टाइल, तमिलनाडु केरला, the dhoti is wrapped around the waist and tucked at the front and can be folded up for easier movement. ऊपर तक उसको बांध दिया जाता है। धोती with कुर्ता worn together for special occasions like festival or religious events, इनके लिए भी धोती कुर्ता काम लिया जाता है। Used for the धोती for ceremonies and festival, men wear धोती for traditional events and religious occasions. Every day wear in rural areas, the dhoti is comfortable for daily use, especially in hot weather. Work wear, women or worker tie up the dhoti to move easily while working as a towel or blanket. It can be used as a quick towel or blanket when needed as a sling. In emergencies, the dhoti can be used to carry children or help someone who is injured. Conclusion, the dhoti, like the sari, is a very flexible piece of clothing. It can be worn in many different ways or style and used as for various purposes. This shows how practical and adaptable traditional Indian clothing can be, fitting into everyday life as well as special occasion. What is your favorite festival and how is it celebrated in your region? Do you know whether it is celebrated in other part of the country, maybe under a different name? My favorite festival is Diwali and celebrated with great enthusiasm in many regions. People clean and decorate their homes, light out lamp, दिया जलाते हैं, burst firecracker, पटाखे जलाते हैं. Families come together to perform religious rituals, worships goddess Lakshmi and share sweet with friends and neighbors. In other part of India, it is also celebrated as Diwali. Especially in South India, in some regions, it makes the return of Lord Rama to Ayodhya, while in others, it celebrates the victory of Lord Krishna over the demon Narkasur. Question 2. During October-November, many major festivals take place in India. Make a list of few main ones and their various names in different parts of the country. Diwali या Deepavali, celebrated across India, known as Deepavali in the south, Durga Puja, Navratra, Dashera. In West Bengal, it is known as Durga Puja. In Gujarat, Navratra is celebrated with Garba. In North India, it's called Dashera, marking Lord Rama's victory over Ravana. Karwa Chauth celebrated by women in North India who fast for the long life of their husband. Bhai Dooj, Bhaiya Dooj या फिर यमा द्वितीया, बहुआ बीज, ये भी अलग अलग नाम है भाई दूज के. Celebrated by brothers and sisters across India with religion various in ritual. Govardhan Puja, Annakut, observing in parts of North India and Gujarat. After Diwali, celebrated Lord Krishna is lifted for the Govardhan Hill. These festivals highlights India's cultural diversity, as the same festival is often celebrated in different ways across regions, sometimes under different names. Let's explore. In a class discussion, try to identify the episode depicted in the painting shows in figure 8.6 above and important detail associated with it. Painting जो भी है figure 8.6 में depicts an important episode from Ramayana, where Raman abducted Sita while she is in exile with Rama and Lakshmana. In this scene, Ravan is shown in this chariot. वो रथ में सीता को हरण करते हुए ले जाते हुए, carrying Sita away after disguising himself as a beggar to receive her. Jatayu, the noble bird, जो एक पक्षी जटायु जिसका नाम था, is also present in the image में दिखाई देता है. Attempting to rescue Sita from Ravan's skulls, रावण से छीनने की मतलब छुटाने की कोशिश करता है सीता को. तो some important detail associated with these episodes. Ravan Ravan takes advantage of Sita's compassion and kidnaps her while Rama and Lakshmana are away. Jatayu's brave attempt. Jatayu, a loyal bird, tries to stop Ravana, but despite this bravery, he is fatally wounded by Ravan. Sita's abduction. This event sets the strains from the epic battle between Rama and Ravana later in the Ramayana, leading to the eventual rescue of Sita. Read the national anthem and its translation in the preliminary pages of this textbook. Where do you see the diversity and where is the unity? Write 2 or 3 paragraphs on it. Important details associated with this episode. Ravan's trickery. Ravan takes advantage of Sita's compassion and kidnap her while Rama and Lakshmana are away. Jatayu's brave attempt. Jatayu's a loyal bird, tries to stop Ravan, but despite his bravery, he is fatally wounded by Ravan. Sita's abduction. This event sets the stage for the epic battle between Ram and Ravan later in the Ramayana, leading to the eventual rescue of Sita. Read the national anthem and its translation in the primary pages of this textbook. Where do you see the diversity and where is the unity? Write 2 or 3 paragraphs on this. The national anthem of India, Jana Gana Mana, shows the idea of unity in diversity. It mentions different regions of India like the north, east, south, and talks about the mountain, rivers, and plain of the country. This shows how India has many different places, cultures, and languages. Reflects its diversity. Even though India is so diverse, the anthem brings all these different regions together. It talks about how the people of India from different parts are united in their love and respect for the country. The phrase Jan Gana Mana means the minds of all the people, showing that even though we come from different places, we are all alone, all one when it comes to our spirit and loyalty to the country. In simple words, the national anthem reminds us that India is full of differences, but we are all connected as one nation. It celebrates the diversity of India while also showing the unity and togetherness of its people. Select a few stories from the Panchatantra and discuss how their message is still valid today. Do you know of any similar stories from your region? Here is a few stories from the Panchatantra and how their messages are still relevant. आज भी उतना ही उनका योगदान उतना ही relevant है वो today. The monkey and the crocodile. In this story, a clever monkey befriends a crocodile who later tries to trick the monkey and eat his heart. The monkey outwits the crocodile by using his intelligence and quick thinking. Message: the story teaches the importance of being smart and staying calm in tricky situation. Even today, we see that using intelligence can help us overcome challenges or avoid dangers. The tortoise and the geese. This story about a tortoise who wanted to fly and asked these geese for help. While flying, the tortoise couldn't resist choking which caused him to fall. Message: the lessons. The lesson here is the values of keeping patience and knowing when to remain silent. This is still relevant in the modern life, where self-control and the ability to listen carefully are important things. The lion and the hare. In this story, a clever hare tricks a lion into believing that another lion lives in a whale. The lion jumps into the whale and drowns, saying the other animal is saving the other animals in the forest. The message is that wit and intelligence are important more than powerful than physical strength. In today's world, success often comes from strategic thinking and smart decision rather than brute force. Similar stories from my region. In my region, one popular story is Tenali Rama and the thieves, where Tenali uses his cleverness to outsmart two thieves trying to steal from his house. He fills bags with pebble and convinces that thieves that they are filled with gold, making them carry the heavy bags all night and eventually giving up. Message like the stories from the Panchtantra. This story shows that intelligence and quick thinking can solve problems, many problems. A lesson that remain important today or relevant today. Is there any ancient story that you have seen being depicted through a form of art? It could be a sculpture, a painting, a dance performances, or a movie discussed with your classmates. One ancient story that is frequently depicted in various forms of art is the epic of Ramayana. This story of Lord Rama's journey is shown through many art forms like painting, sculptures, dances, performances, and movies. Sculptures in many temples across India, you can see sculptures of scenes from the Ramayana, such as the battle between Lord Rama and Ravan, Sita's abduction, and Hanuman heroic acts. These sculptures bring the story of life in stone and are still admired today for this artistic and cultural value. Dances, performances, Dance performances. The story of the Ramayana is also told through traditional dances like Kathakali in Kerala and Ram Leela performances during Dasera. These performances dramatize the major events of the story, including the war with Ravan, and are popular during festivals. There are many films and TV serial based on the Ramayana. One of the most famous is the 1987 television series Ramayana, which depicted the entire story and became a huge hit in India. Even today, people enjoy modern adaptation of the story in the animation and cinema. Discuss in the class the following quotation by India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru when he traveled to many parts of India before independence. Everywhere I found a cultural background which had extracted a powerful influences or their lives. The old epic of India, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata and other books in popular translations and paraphrases were widely known among the masses, and every incident and story moral in them was engraved on the popular mind and gave a richness and content to it. Literate villagers would know hundreds of verses by heart, and their conversation would be full of references to them or to some stories which with a moral enshrined in old classics. Answer. In this quote, Jawaharlal Nehru reflect on the deep culture impact that ancient India texts like the Ramayana and Mahabharata had on people across India even before independence. He highlights that these epics were not just stories but were widely rooted in the daily lives of people, shaping their values, moral, and conversation. Key point for the class discussion: cultural influences. Nehru's observation that the cultural background of India, largely shaped by these epics, had a significant influence on people's lives. Even literate villagers who might not have made formal education were familiar with the stories, verses, and lessons from these texts. This shows the strong oral tradition in India, where knowledge and culture were passed down through generation by word of mouth. Moral lessons. The stories from the Ramayana and Mahabharata were not just entertainment, but carried important moral lessons that people applied in their everyday life. For instance, the idea of the duty, rightness, drama, sacrifice, and truth were core messages that resonated with the message. Popular knowledge. Nehru's mentions of the literate villager knowing hundreds of verses by heart is a testament to how deeply these texts were woven into the fabric of society. These epics were not restricted to scholars but were accessible to everyone.